We have some major AI news out of DoorDash today, and that is that DoorDash is launching an AI-powered voice ordering technology for restaurants. This has some massive implications, not just for restaurants, but also for sales, customer service, and a lot of other areas I'm going to dive into on the podcast. Before we dive into that, I want to tell you we have a friendly competition going. For those that have been listening to the podcast for a while, you might know I actually get around 69% of my listens from Apple Podcasts, and I get around 8% from Spotify. But if I look at my reviews on Apple Podcasts, I currently have 66 ratings on Apple Podcasts and 117 on Spotify. So if you're listening on Apple, make sure you go and drop us a review so that we can fix that ratio between Spotify and Apple. Without further ado, though, let's dive in. Welcome to the AI Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Jaden Schaefer. Make sure that you go to aibox.ai, link in the show notes, to join the waitlist for our new AI platform. We're going to be launching an incredible platform that allows you to build anything you want with workflows in AI. So you're able to chain together ChatGPT and image generators and audio generators to make really powerful apps for your organization, or you can host them on our marketplace and actually generate royalties from them. So make sure to go to aibox.ai and join the waitlist. In addition, if you like the podcast, if you could do me a massive favor and please leave us a review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. This helps me be able to get better guests on here as they check the reviews to see how you guys are liking it. So if you could please do that, I would really, really appreciate it. Have you ever wanted to start your own podcast? I record and publish podcasts on a platform called Spotify for Podcasters, and I absolutely love it. Essentially, you can upload from your phone or computer, and it distributes to every platform that plays podcasts. They support video podcasts, and you can make money on the platform with ads or even podcast subscriptions, something that has made my life so much easier as a podcaster. So if you're interested, I highly recommend you give it a try. You can download the Spotify for Podcast app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started on your podcast today. So the first thing I want to talk about here is the fact that DoorDash is really stepping up its game in the food delivery ecosystem. So it has the introduction of a voice-powered AI ordering technology. And essentially, this is aiming to bridge the gap between restaurants and customers who prefer the more traditional route of placing orders over the phone. Of course, I'm a big fan of DoorDash. When you pop open the app, you go scroll down, look at everything you want, you make an order. But there are a lot of people, admittedly, I'm currently in Canada right now. I'm in a little bit more of an older traditional town. I bet you over 50% of the people here don't want to order something on their phone. They probably want to do it on their mobile phone on an app. They want to do it over a phone call. And this is where I think this is going to come in. So this move really kind of comes as part of the company's broader strategy to provide tech-forward solutions to the restaurant industry, which it outlined at their 2023 Restaurant Online Ordering Trends Report. But essentially, the report highlights a really revealing pain point. So although 1 in 5 customers prefers ordering takeout by phone, almost half of these calls go unanswered. So when you make a phone call to a restaurant, I'm sure you've experienced this because I have as well, right? If their hours aren't published online, I'm like, got to give them a call and make sure they're actually open. And apparently 50% of calls to restaurants go unanswered. The staff is busy serving people. There's a crisis at the restaurant. All sorts of things could happen. They're short staffed. They're not going to answer the phone call. But this is actually leading to missed revenue and missed revenue opportunities. So addressing this issue, Raja, who is the head of product and design at DoorDash, said, quote, "Customers expect more from restaurateurs, and in return, restaurateurs expect even more technology-forward solutions from us, including support for phone channels to meet customers where they're ordering." So supporting operators by capturing customer demand through investment in our voice product is one way we're delivering more and enabling our partners to grow their business. So essentially, DoorDash's new voice ordering system aims to capture this unmet customer demand by combining AI technology with live customer service agents. And this hybrid approach kind of ensures that customer calls are answered promptly, even when the restaurant itself is, at high kind of peak hours. And I think this is going to actually free up the restaurant staff to concentrate on in-house customers. The whole system is kind of designed to be cost efficient by providing select restaurant operators the means to drive incremental revenue, right? Of course, this isn't going to be the number one source of revenue for these restaurants, but there is, 1 in 5 per people that like to order over the phone. And if 50% of those people are, being lost, I think that equates to around 10% business that you could essentially increase for your restaurant by having a system like this. So I think from the customer's perspective, the voice ordering service kind of promises a streamlined experience. It's going to be supporting multiple languages and offering features like quick reordering of your favorite meals. Live agents will also be readily available to provide support as needed, right? So if you just get stuck with a bot that does not understand what you're saying, you have that option as well. But I think for those restaurants wanting to add a delivery option to their phone orders, DoorDash has them covered with the DoorDash Drive. And I think that this kind of white label solution offers businesses really an intuitive end-to-end customer experience that includes, real-time tracking of orders and everything else. So I think overall, DoorDash's kind of new AI-powered voice ordering system has the potential to be a real big game changer. And it really would kind of resolve this age-old issue of unanswered phone calls that I have experienced way too often, and also just the lost revenue that goes along with that entire, experience of people not being able to order. Now, the reason that I think this is so interesting is because recently we saw some technology unveiled. I believe it was called Air AI, where essentially it was a conversation, and the demo that they gave was someone that was like, I think it was like a sales rep for Tesla selling a Tesla. And it was a person calling in, asking a bunch of questions. I actually believe that it was not a cold, but like a warm outreach. So it was like, hey, I'm a customer sales rep. I saw that you were looking at a Tesla online. I'm wondering if, there's a reason why you didn't finish your purchase, blah, 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 whatever salespeople, kind of the flow that they go down. But it was 100% done by AI. Now, there was little tiny delays as it had to compute between the conversation and whatnot. And so that gave me, this is a few weeks ago, but that really gave me the first glimpse of, oh my gosh, like sales, this DoorDash ordering thing, it's going to be customer support, trained on specialized data sets. It's going to be able to essentially do a lot of what used to be a person on the phone. And even if you think about this, right, like with DoorDash, they're saying, hey, we got like a live agent that's ready to take your call. So, it's not displacing them. They're still around, but this is just kind of like the first order or the first person that is going to get it. But to be honest, I would bet you in a number of months or maybe a year or years, the technology is going to be so good that you will not need a live agent behind the scenes to help support. It's going to know every situation. It's going to know every issue that can come up. It's going to know everything about the menu and the restaurant and just be able to get that information. So I think this technology is getting better and better. And along that vein, 11 Labs actually just released a new feature, which I believe I covered in a podcast episode, where essentially they are providing instantaneous streaming of AI audio. So previously what happened would be, you'd talk to these, you'd talk to one of these AI things and really fast they'd try to compute everything that you were saying, send it over to something like ChatGPT or a language model essentially to compute what a response should be. It would spit it out, it would generate an audio file, it would try to do all this stuff lightning fast and immediately give you the audio file. Now there was a little latency because it had to do a lot of that computing, but with 11 Labs new technology, essentially they're live streaming the response in real time. So like when you ask ChatGPT a question, you watch it typing out. Previously, it had to finish typing, generate the audio file and send it. Now with the live streaming feature, as ChatGPT or whatever language model you use is like writing out your response, the audio is literally being spoken. So it's instantaneous results. It's, live computing what you're saying, and then it's live streaming back to you its response. So it makes these conversations online with customer service bots or this kind of DoorDash technology or sales very, very quick. And I believe that the technology is going to get very good in a very short amount of time, and essentially will have some massive displacements for anyone that's doing calls over the phone, sales, customer service, answering phones and doing these orders for restaurants. So it's going to be a very interesting space to follow in the future, but the technology is getting very uncanny, very good, and it's going to have a very, very big impact, I believe.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. That's the sound of switching your business to Shopify, the global commerce platform that supercharges your selling. Harness the best converting checkout and same intuitive features, trusted apps, and powerful analytics used by the world's leading brands. Stop leaving sales on the table. Discover why millions trust Shopify to build, grow, and run their business. Sign up today for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/tech23.
Thank you for listening to the AI Chat Podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, I'd appreciate it if you rate me wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're looking for an innovative group of AI enthusiasts, make sure you check out our Discord channel and also our Facebook community. It's obviously a lot more interactive than a podcast where we can actually share software tools, prompts that we're using in everyday AI. I'll leave a link for those in the description below.